Welcome back, YouTube, to episode number 3 of the Classmonster series. This is just going to be a nice little sit-down episode where I explain where I'm at post-show, because we're now officially 8 weeks post-show, and once you hit that 8-week post-show mark, you can't really say it's post-show anymore because it's off-season time, and any more than that, you're just kind of dragging it, aren't you? So yeah, as of today, Sunday the 14th, I am officially 8 weeks post-show. I was 184.6 pounds this morning. So I put a little post up on my Instagram showing it, and I'll put the pictures here. So there'll probably be a picture right here and here of the visuals from post-workout yesterday, and then post-workout the kind of day or two before my last show of the season. So in the first photo, the one before the show, I was 167.7 pounds, and then like I said this morning, I was 184.6, so nearly a 17 kilo difference in the 8 weeks, and a completely different visual. Obviously a lot chunkier, but also a lot more muscle in the latter photos, and the most important thing is I feel 100 times better. That's the biggest difference. What people don't talk about is once you get to that kind of latter stages of prep, one, you feel pure shit all the time, and you can't train. You literally cannot train. You can't recover from anything. It's the only enjoyable bit is that you're look in the mirror and oh, I'm shredded, or you go on stage and there's all the fun of competing, but away from that, it proper sucks. The most important bit for me is the training, is actually going to the gym and enjoying it. That's why I got into it. I didn't get into the gym to compete in bodybuilding. I just want to obviously be more jacked. So that kind of just sitting about and you can't even train properly is really annoying. So yeah, officially the off season now. What does this mean? So my new training split, which I think I mentioned in the last video, is pull and delts, push and arms, legs, rest, push, and then hamstrings and back. So it's literally one hamstring exercise and then pulls. So it's pretty much just a back day. More of a men's physique style training split. So what I mean by that is it's just predominantly upper body. So my quads, my legs, they just respond so well to training, to be honest. And they're so far ahead of the rest of my physique that I really only trained quads once a week, and then hamstrings twice a week. It's just slightly more volume, and then we're just trying to grow this upper body. My arms have been growing like crazy recently. Definitely the thing I've noticed the most growth on is my arms, just for a few reasons. One, a lot more arm volume going across the board. Two, focusing on the execution and actually really contracting the bicep, controlling the change of direction. Same with the tricep, feeling the contraction, getting the most out of every rep. And then I've been going single arm on a lot of the bicep movements, which just allows you to focus on one arm at a time more. You can produce more force through that muscle, get a better connection, get a better actual setup on the exercise, and it means that one arm isn't taken over from the other arm when you do a dual arm exercise. So they're kind of my things I've been implementing to really blow up my arms. So food wise, training day is 4.6k calories still. Rest day is 3.5, steps at 12,000, and cardio at 6 times 25 per week. So just doing it every morning fasted, bar Wednesday when I train legs, because just that little bit of localized inflammation from going on the bike we don't really want on our leg session. Plus obviously, like I said, my legs are ahead, but I only train them once a week, so you don't want to be going into it with a little bit of leg fatigue. Ideally you want your legs to be as fresh as possible, and I've trained pretty early, so yeah, but I'm actually trying to get a new routine sorted. So a big thing for any phase is just getting a proper routine down, and with my job, I'm like constantly changing shift and stuff, and I'm able to manage it because I'm like so on the ball, but it does get really annoying, and it takes a lot of effort having to like constantly adjust. So I think I'm getting my shifts set in place, so I will be actually training a little bit later, but I don't mind that once it's set in stone and you're not changing about, because when you train a little bit later and you work before, you can get an extra meal in, plus the meals have longer to digest, your body's already moving, you feel a lot like more kind of warmed up by the time you get to the gym. So like I had to do it last week and I actually had a really good push session going after work, so I'm not too worried about it come now. But I got my blood work done this week, so went with Atlas Labs, went to Randox in Belfast, got them to draw the bloods, and then Atlas did the actual testing and got back to me a few days later. So everything is all good, like everything is bang on, which I was really happy about. Obviously prioritizing a lot of health post prep, as prep can be really kind of damaging on your blood work in general. So what are the plans going forward? Initially, like I thought, right, as soon as the blood work comes in, it'll be blast off time, but me and my coach have been discussing, and like I'm growing at a really good rate now in this like health phase, and training is progressing. I'm getting all my meals in, I'm like, food is going down really well, and we just want to milk this out. Like, you don't want to rush for no reason. I have 2 years again before I'm getting on stage. I don't need to speed run getting like maxing out every variable, and that's like one thing when you're dieting or bulking, is you don't want to rush up to like the max of every variable straight away. You want to keep like tools in your toolbox, as they call it, to utilize throughout. So like for example, if I was to just add in loads of super subs and loads of food, I probably would respond and grow like significantly, but I would put on a lot of body fat pretty quick. My food would get to a point where like I'd be struggling to get the food in a few weeks, and it would just be like a case of like it'd be really hard really soon, and then we'd have to pull back earlier. Whereas if we're making progress now and we can just like linearly progress that over time and just make the most without having to, so if we can just grow with having to do minimal pullbacks, I'll make more progress in the long run. So that is the kind of thought process behind this off season. So the off season started, but it kind of hasn't as well. But the new splits here, you know, we've got the green light on health, foods in place, and it's just a case of enjoying the process now. Optimizing my routine to make it as easy as possible and just doing the do. Like, this is kind of what real bodybuilding is. You know, people glamorize it with changing fancy exercises all the time, changing food all the time, like this is the best food for this is the best food for that, but it's really just a case of getting your routine set, finding a diet you enjoy that you can either up or down, and just getting the most out of your training, getting stronger in training, progressing the training over time, and then just, you know, obviously enjoy other variables of your life. Like, this is just kind of the base routine, and then you enjoy other stuff on top of that. Focus on other things, you know, work, business, other hobbies you have, enjoying them, and just essentially repeating the process of bodybuilding and letting the process do its thing and build up your physique. So yeah, really enjoying it at the moment, and I'm excited to just keep doing the do, like I say. And yeah, that is number 3 of the Classmonster. I will try and make next episode more exciting than just these updates. I really want to start making proper YouTube videos where go train at different gyms, show my diet, but obviously there's been, like I say, no changes. So I will make a video soon because my food's getting pretty high. So I want to show how you can eat clean food on a bulk, on a budget, because that's one thing that kind of really changed from prep. I was actually, don't get me wrong, the prep buys were killing my finances, but I was actually spending like no money on food because my food was so low. Whereas my food is pretty much doubled now, and you notice it. Like, I'm in the shop all the time, I'm spending money all the time on food, so I'm going to be optimizing my diet to try and make it a bit more cost effective and just time effective, so that I'm not constantly prepping meals. Because like I say, like, you set yourself stuff to do and you get it done, but ideally you want to try and make that as efficient as possible, so that, you know, you're not just not wasting time, but just using time that could be spent elsewhere, constantly prepping meals or things of that nature. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Please press a like and follow along, and we'll get more kind of different videos up on the channel as soon as possible.